Well, Matt, yesterday's Wall Street Journal has an article that says that the scale of China's spying is overwhelming Western governments. And I'll read a couple of paragraphs for you. Beijing is conducting espionage activities on what Western governments say is an unprecedented scale, mobilizing security agencies, private companies, and Chinese civilians in its quest to undermine rival states and bolster the country's economy. Rarely does a week go by without a warning from Western intelligence agency about the threat that China presents. Last month alone, the FBI said a Chinese state-linked firm hacked 260,000 internet-connected devices, including cameras and routers in the U.S., Britain, France, Romania, and elsewhere. A congressional probe said Chinese cargo cranes used at U.S. seaports had embedded technology that could allow Beijing to secretly control them. And the U.S. government alleged that a former top aide to New York Governor Kathy Hochul, New York, where Jim is right now, was a Chinese agent. And in fact, it's not just Western governments. In July, I interviewed Philippine Senator Risa Hontiveros for episode 19, and she described her committee's investigation into the mayor of a small Philippine city, Alice Guo, now in custody, who appears to have been planted from an early age to grow up in what seems almost like a Manchurian candidate scenario. So, Matt, what are we looking at here, and why should we care about it?
I think it's true that the scale is unprecedented as far as our own experience goes. And at the root of this is what Nigel Inkster, the former MI6 Director of Intelligence and Analysis, has said that China is best viewed as an intelligence state because the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, does its best to enlist as much of society as possible in these efforts, whether they're counterespionage at home or intelligence gathering abroad. And I think what we're seeing here, in brief, is an attempt by Xi Jinping to return as much as possible to, when it comes to these things, when it comes to intelligence and counterespionage, to return to the Mao era when the state had totalitarian control over government, or rather over society.